Hey everyone, I'm Pineapple Hour. If you've heard of me before, it's probably thanks to Guilty Gear Strive. I was, against all odds, a pretty decent Mei player during Season 2 and the early part of Season 3 in that game, before transitioning to being a solo Slayer player in June of 2024 when he came out. Now, that coincided with a lot of real life stuff, leading me to play fewer online events and much less ranked, so I can confidently say I'm not as good as I used to be in that game. This isn't the first time I've slowed down with fighting games. I've been playing since Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition 2012. That's a long time, and sometimes life demands that you prioritize other things. Fighting games will be there when you get back. That will never change. Something that has changed in the last year and a half is that I've fallen in love with Under Night In-Birth 2 Ciz Celeste. Of course, I'd been aware of Uni before this point, in the same way that I had been aware of Guilty Gear before Strive came out. They're both games that looked cool, but were incredibly different from anything else I'd played before, and had much smaller communities than Street Fighter, which was my bread and butter series. In both series, I owned at least one game. I did own Uniclear, and I owned Xrd, and my experience with these games was just kind of messing around with combo trials and training mode, but not really understanding how to play the game itself, just playing around. In Guilty Gear's case, I came around and really fell in love with the series as a player when Strive came out. Then, Under Night finally had a character for me when Uni 2 dropped and Kuon floated into the roster. Watching and playing Uni has been an absolute pleasure since Uni 2 dropped. The game is stylish and generally straightforward to follow as a viewer, but it's so complex and freeform as a competitor. Modern features like rollback netcode and replay takeover give you tools to play high quality sets from home and then lab situations you're unfamiliar with instantly. Raito's soundtrack is so damn good, it bleeds into content creation from people who have never and will never play the game. And most importantly to me, Kuon is one of my favorite fighting game characters to play. Character design, gameplay, his theme, the colors he comes with, lore, you name it, I love it. There's just one problem. I've played and prioritized so many games over Uni in the past year and a half. Strive has been my main game since 2021, and despite my hangups with the current version, I can't put it down yet. That game means a lot to me. It has meant a lot for my entry into the local offline FGC. I can't move on quite yet. I've tried and failed to enjoy Street Fighter 6 off and on. I've entered at locals, I've entered at majors. The game just doesn't quite click with me, and I'll probably try a few more times before really throwing in the towel. Plus R and KOF have gotten bursts of attention, largely for local events. I actually only played KOF for about 6 weeks, but it was a solid 6 weeks where I really let everything else fall to the wayside. City of the Wolves is on the horizon. It's a game I've really enjoyed through the open betas, and I really am anticipating that release too. And that's not even talking about the single-player games that I've been playing. Shout out to Bellatra. Despite entering and playing Uni at multiple local events, and even putting up a pop bonus at SQ, which is a new NC anime regional, I've effectively not played the game on my own since Frosty Faustings. I've gotten rusty, and that's led to some really underwhelming bracket runs at the local level. Despite knowing that I'm rusty and I'm not really playing the game, my ego cannot take being bad at a game I really do love. So here's what I'm going to do to fix this. I'm going to actually treat Under Night as my main game until City of the Wolves releases. Now, I know that's not a lot of time. As of recording, that's a little over 3 weeks. But it's better than what I've been doing, which is not playing at all. Beyond that, I want to provide a lot more structure to how I play and learn fighting games. No more ranked queue marathons, no more shrugging when I lose and saying, I just don't know what this character does. And no more taking the laziest possible route to improvement. The plan will be to play sets either online or with friends, review replays, ideally with the people I played them with, and then take over situations in those replays to learn the game, not just play it. The idea for these sessions is to emulate going to the gym to work out. A really focused 60 to 120 minute session with specific aspects of the game to work on. I want there to be limited to no downtime during these sessions, so I'm keeping the pace really high and making the most of that time. And I don't want to grind every day. Ideally, I'm targeting 3 to 4 days a week with these sessions, building in rest days to let muscle memory set in, avoid building bad habits into my autopilot, and really let things settle in my brain as we go. I'll stream some of this process and record other sessions, trying to put together videos of the progress I make. I'd like to do at least one a week, preferably 2 if the content is there for it. But, life happens, and sometimes maybe a session doesn't make for good content. I really want things to be both informative as to my process and the things I'm learning about how I learn, but also the things I learn about Unity and the development I go on from not an 0-2 at a major to hopefully making it out of pools at majors. I'd like to win a local. I have goals that I want to achieve. That being said, the real goal for this is really just to find a workflow for improvement at fighting games that works for me with my schedule and the tight demands I have in my time now. Uni just feels like the right game to start with. So come with me on this new chapter of my relationship with Uni, with improvement in fighting games, and my first real attempt at making content. This is Night School.